Well, hello there, and welcome to part one of this hopefully very long and fruitful My Team F1 2020 career mode. Now, I played the game quite a lot in the past week or so. I got the game a day early. I got it on Monday, a couple of weeks ago, a couple of Mondays ago. I've been playing, you can see in the top right hand, I've already unlocked stuff with the pit coins on the podium pass and also on tier 5 after doing a handful of multiplayer races. So I am up to speed a little bit of the game. I didn't want to be a complete rookie going into this, so my first lap in FP1 in my team won't necessarily be my first lap out on circuit. So this is the main menu. Obviously, the only real new thing here, we've got the item shop where we can unlock various things, helmets, and basically a lot of cosmetic stuff, different liveries, that sort of thing. Split screen makes a return, which is quite nice. So solo mode, we can do the standard driver career that we all know and love from the past few seasons, but obviously my team is what everyone is going to be going on to, where you basically become a driver owner and everything is down to you. We also have Grand Prix, Championships and Time Trial. Multiplayer, everything is the same as it has been the last couple of years. The esports page, customization, you can change liveries, characters, badges. We've got the showroom, this year's F1 at 2020 cars, all the classic cars that have been released over the past few years, including the Schumacher edition cars and last season's F2 lineup. And at the end there we have theatre mode as well, if you wanted to save some of your favourite races. So we'll jump straight into my team. And this will be the character for me. Now, I'm going to go through this. I'll tell you now, I'm going to bring back the Minardi F1 team. So I started watching Formula 1 in 1995, to be specific, the Italian Grand Prix at Monza, where Hill took Schumacher out and Herbert won after the Ferraris of Alesi and Berger retired from P1 and P2. So yes, I am a bit old. I remember it very well. And Minardi was the first F1 team I fell in love with. I was disappointed when Red Bull bought them out at the end of 2005 and renamed the team into Toro Rosso, which of course is now AlphaTauri. So yeah, the Minardi team technically is still around, but it's had a few name changes and no one really knows, you know, AlphaTauri isn't really connected to Minardi anymore. They've moved away from the old factory. A lot of the old mechanics have gone. But an interesting note was in 2008 when Sebastian Vettel won his first Grand Prix at Monza in the wet, pretty much I think about 90% of that team were still the original Minardi mechanics from 2005, and they were still based in Faenza in Italy, where Minardi had their operation. So essentially it was a Minardi team. Obviously it had a lot of Red Bull backing and support and development, but a lot of the guys that were running the team and certainly connected to the team were ex-Minardi guys. So I like to think they did get their first win. So I'm going to go away now. As you see here, we come back out of here, we've got to do the character. We've got to choose our main sponsor, our engine, our teammate. We've got to get the livery sorted out, the badge, and get everything else all up and tidy as well. So I'm going to go away and do that now, because it will take a few minutes to get sorted out, and I'll be back with you guys at the next screen. Okay, so team is all done, livery is all done. I have selected the lowest sponsor, which gives a nice weekly bonus of $240,000. And we get a bonus of, I think, just over 2 million if we complete the season. So other sponsors were a case of finish 10th, 9th, 8th in the Constructors' Championship, score points, score certain results, that sort of thing. They get harder and harder as they go on, but you get more and more money. But we've just gone for the basic one. Complete a season, we get a bonus. Now, season session length. This is quite cool. 22 races, 16 or 10. I'm going to go for 16 for two very good reasons. Number one, I want to not necessarily race through the seasons, because that would be a 10 race series, but there are quite a few tracks now I genuinely don't enjoy, and I like racing the tracks that I do enjoy. And also it's a bit more of a challenge, because with less races it means that every race is kind of crucial in both the drivers and constructors championships. Less races mean less resource points, which means it's going to be slower for us to max out our car. Same for the AI, which should give a longevity into this career mode. I don't want to have every car maxed out. Yes, I don't want to get to the end of season 3 and my car's maxed out and we're winning every race, and then by the end of season 5 all the AI teams have maxed out and we've dropped right back to the bottom again. So we're going to go for a 16 race series, which means that we need to remove 6 races that I don't like. So there we go, that will be our Canada then. So we've removed China, Azerbaijan, Hungary, Singapore, Russia and Abu Dhabi. Now I don't know at the end of the first season if we can come back to this and revert it around, or this is now locked in. I don't know, but yeah, that's fine. that is what we'll do. So yeah, you can see in the background there's the sort of a livery a little bit. I've sort of gone for a bit of a remake of the 1995 livery, which is white, black and green. It's never going to be perfect, of course, but I quite like how it looks as well. Very you'll be able to notice it quite well on the circuit. So qualifying, short session, 18 minutes long. Formation lap on, race distance 50%. AI driver level we will bump at 95. I always start at 95, and at the end of the first season I'll move up to 96. End of season 2, 97. End of season 3, 98. So maybe by the end of season 10 will be 105 in the ultimate or something like that, because I think that we should bump it up a little bit more as we get better and better at the game. So 50% race distance, formation lap on. Qualifying is short. Gameplay settings, flashbacks on, platforming rules on, vehicle damage, stimulation for that big dick energy, safety car definitely on, corner cutting regular, race starts manual, tyre temperature, surface and carcass. As for the assist, ABS on, traction control medium, everything else is going to be off. Cool, so let's advance. So here we are then, sort of at our headquarters. You've already caught a glimpse of the livery and I explained it to you. So it's under wraps at the moment until the car reveal. So you might as well go through all the menu screens quickly then. So this is the overall overview. You can see the calendar on the left hand side in a second. Every week we get weekly resources and also we get the running costs, which I'll explain in a minute. There is the livery, just looking at the, I think the aerodynamic department. I think it's quite a cool livery, to be honest. We can chop and change it. We might bring in a one-off special for like the Italian Grand Prix, as it technically is going to be our home race. And you've got a young girl there working away on the email. So yeah, we've got the car reveal on the 6th, more weekly running costs, and then the Australian Grand Prix on the 12th. So the facilities then, these are all the facilities. You can see there at the bottom, weekly resource points. So we get 120 resource points every week, and it's going to cost us £30,000. And you can see how much each department charges. Nothing going on with marketing and personnel at the moment, but the chassis department's already spec 1. You can see there a couple of questions. I had an interview with Will Buxton, pre-season interview with Will Buxton, and a couple of questions allowed me to sort of boost up the chassis department. So we're already spec 1, which is quite good, but you can see there to get the fabrication department, just one of the 4 departments up to spec 2, it's going to cost me $5 million. Build time 5 million, 5 million, 6 million. So that's 21 million just to get it to spec 2. The other departments you can see there a little bit cheaper, obviously, to get it to spec 1, 2 and 2.5 millions here and there. Personnel department, this will be strictly to improve the performance of our second driver, who is Luca Giotto. I thought we should sign Giotto from F2, considering he's an Italian driver. We're an Italian team, makes sense to have an Italian driver. And look at that, he's even turning into and out of the first couple of corners as well, so that's quite cool. You can see that it doesn't cost too much to get up and running. Powertrain department as well, Renault engine. So very basic, as you can see at the moment. It's going to cost a couple of million for each department there. Durability department to try and make things more and more reliable as the season goes on. Not as expensive as the others, so I might be looking to invest in this first of all. And the marketing department, very expensive there. You can see you can increase your team acclaim at an accelerated rate. It's going to cost 5 million just to get the first bit back, and then 2 million for the activities management. This is all towards sponsors and increasing our team acclaim. We can shut down the facility, but I don't know what that does, and to be honest, I don't want to press it in case I completely screw over the career mode. So at the top there you can see in the right hand corner, no money. We spent all our money on the engine and the driver. We've got 1,000 resource points. Our acclaim is level 1. So the better we do on track, better performances, our acclaim goes up to level 2, level 3. It's a higher standing within the F1 world and community, and the higher we go up, the more sponsors we can sign. R&D page end. So this is nothing new. Of course, this has been on there for quite a while. You can see there we're pretty much level with Haas and just a bit ahead of Williams, so that's quite nice. You can see the powertrain and the durability departments at the bottom there. It's not too bad. Aero and chassis down a little bit, but we've already obviously had some work on the chassis department. You can see the R&D tree there. So a few bits have been done onto the durability department already, and this is new as well. These 2 columns down here, it used to be on previous games where one of the columns would be you spend resource points to make things cheaper, and the other column was to spend resource points to have a less chance of them failing as they get installed onto the car. But this time around it's generalized, just randomized updates that will be done onto the car. So we've had a minor power unit supply upgrade, 2 minor power unit supply upgrades courtesy of Renault. Over here we've got the ultimate one for the power unit, which will be here on the 13th of July. We've got one in October, September and October. So the question marks you might be seeing here are wondering, what the hell are these? We don't know what these are until we get up to spec level 1. So we have to update all of the departments in each facility to get to spec 1. And if we don't do that, then we can only pretty much do the ones here that have got a number 1 next to it, and then we're stuck. We can't do anything else. So we have to spend money on the departments before we can start to do more upgrades. So powertrain, Renault have been busy. We've had an ultimate upgrade in the lightweight pistons, we've had a minor upgrade in the valve timing, and a minor upgrade on the air filter. We've got another one, an ultimate power unit for the turbo in September. Future season, so if we remain with Renault going into season 2, we get the minor upgrade for the wastegate actuator and another minor upgrade for the piston rings. And you can see here we can do a few upgrades, and then we get to the question mark, facility spec 1 required. Chassis department as well, nothing really much going on here. You can see there as well, there's a 30% failure chance. So right now we could do an upgrade if we want, and if we click on that, it will arrive, look at that, 1 day before Australia, but there is a 30% failure chance, so that's quite cool. And if we go down to the aerodynamic department as well, you can see that we've already had 1 upgrade, so the cost has gone up from 500 to 525, and if we click on that, it will arrive between Australia and Bahrain, so a little bit longer. You've got to develop Rush, but we need to have the full facility at spec 2 before we can do that, and I can only assume it means that we can rush it in quicker, might have a higher chance of failure. So we'll have to come back to this quite a bit, to be honest with you, to make sure that everything is okay. R&D progress, no data there. Progress history, you can see that Haas have caught up to us a little bit. Alfa Romeo have done well in pre-season and caught right up to AlphaTauri, and Ferrari have had a little bit extra as well, catching up to Red Bull, very close between Renault, Racing Point and McLaren. So the vehicle then, this is not a new screen either, this is basically the wear rates for all of our units, the gearbox and the weekend tyre allocation. Corporate, so our sponsor is there, I don't know what it's called, but it's a Chinese one. You can see there our goal bonus is $2.53 million if we complete the season, the weekly income of 241.5k. Goal bonus and weekly income increase with each team acclaim level. So we got to level 2, it might go up a little bit more, level 3 and so forth. For secondary sponsors, you can see here we need to be acclaim level 2, 5, 10 and 20 to sign more sponsors. Contracts, obviously I'm a driver owner, so I have nothing and I'm level 1. There's Luca Giotto on the right hand side, his stats and his acclaim is level 5. We've got driver perks as well, where we can spend a little bit of money on ourselves. Basically engine wear will be reduced by 10%, $230,000. Social media, driver acclaim will be boosted. Media coaching, we can unlock additional interview answers that could help. Development feedback, resource point income will be boosted by 10%. We unlock these stay with us and they stay with the team as well. So wherever we go and whatever we do, they stay with us. Quite cheap, but I think I'll move away from looking at that in the early stages. Driver market, this shows all the other current drivers in F1 and F2, and you can see their acclaim level, their market value and their overall ratings. If we scroll all the way down, we should be able to find some F2 drivers. Yep, here they are: Jack Aitken, Callum Ilott, Luca Giotto, of course, Juan Yonju, Sergio Sette Camara. All of these are free agents, of course, because you can sign them at any time, and obviously the Tifi is in there as well with Williams. At the bottom you will have Mahavir Raghunathan, who, if you know anything about F1 and especially F2, his season in 2019 was something of a comedy show. I know some people have signed him for the lols. So finances then, you can see there, Jing Shen is the name of our sponsor. The income and the outgoing exactly the same, we have no money. Finance history and customization. We can change our livery at any time, we can change the team name at any time, colours, badges, all that jazz. As for standings, nothing raced yet, everyone on 0 points. Trophies haven't raced yet, no rivals yet, and my driver details have yet to be out on circuit. So we got some activities and some messages. The messages, that Newcastle mail from Cole and the IT department telling us that we now have Wi-Fi. So activities, and this is new. You can set up activities before the season and during the season as well to boost various things. So we can do one straight away. We can do a pre-season driver press tour, which means that the acclaim and resources goes up by 500 for the drivers, but it costs us £30,000. We have no money, so we can't spend it. I know for a fact that you can't go into debt, you can't go bankrupt as far as I know. But because we have no money, we can't spend on anything. So pre-season merchandise sales, that would take 5 days, will generate $500,000 in cash, which is quite good. Pre-season advertisement campaign increases our acclaim by 500. Well, not like 500 levels, but 500 points, but it's going to cost 50k. We don't have the money. We can Spend quite a bit of time looking after the aero and chassis departments. The morale goes up by 50% and we gain 500 extra resource points, but the powertrain and durability morale goes down, and this one here is obviously the opposite effect. And a driver training camp, resource points extra 250, and we can increase Giotto's overall abilities by 3: experience, racecraft, awareness and pace. But I think merchandise sale should be the thing that we should, well, I don't know actually. I mean, we're going to get quite a bit of money weekly, nearly $250,000, and I don't think we're going to be spending too much money just yet on upgrades, so maybe getting Giotto just a little bit better would be quite good. So yeah, I think that's what we'll do. We'll do a driver training camp. Yeah, we'll do a driver training camp. So we'll come back to advance and we'll advance the time. So there we go, the experience now coming in for Giotto, the weekly resources and the running cost is 0 because we have no money, so that's good. And now we can go to the Minardi car reveal. So there is the car, and very nice I think it looks too. So we've got another 6 days before we go to the Australian Grand Prix. We've already done the driver training camp, so we might as well do a press tour. Could get some acclaim for the driver. We could generate some more money for the merchandise sale or the advertisement campaign. I think we'll go for the merch. We'll take in the merch. So we'll advance time again. And now the running costs start to come in as we have a bit of money. Merchandise sale comes in, so we're already up to nearly $1 million, so that really helped a lot. And now we can go to the tyre allocation. I'm going to go soft. I don't really want to be spending too much time on the hard tyres. Well, we could go harder, to be honest, because I don't know really. Should we just keep it level at balance and just see how we get on? Or should we just go softer and get out there straight away and set some quick lap times? I think we'll go softer. So that works for me. So now, did that go in? Yep, that did go in fine. Cool. Right, let's get to the race weekend and get our season on the go. Season 1, round 1 at Australia. So we are in at the workstation. This is a familiar sight as well. Everyone's kitted up in their livery. Oh, looks very nice indeed. Luca Giotto there just sitting opposite, scanning his side of the station. So then, looking at the weather, it looks pretty nice and sunny for the 3 practice sessions. Overcast in qualifying, sun breaking through again in the race, 29 laps. So we have a couple more messages. The weekend preview and the weather forecast as well. We already know how that feels or how it looks, so that's fine. Other things to look at, rivals and driver details is the same. Nothing else has happened here between now and the first race, and obviously everything is 0%. Everything is nice and healthy, so there's nothing else left to do really, and might as well go to FP1 and get this Minardi out on track. Right, so here we are then. This is the main screen. Obviously you can see practice is going to be all sunny. Giotto you can see going around the circuit. He's the black dots just behind Albon, so easily identifiable on circuit, which is good. So we can see where he is on circuit. These are all the practice programs, of course. So these are the same 6 that we usually have, and also some additional team objectives. One thing I have been told is that I think for the first time really, the track is quite realistic. So at the beginning of FP1, the track is at its slowest. There's not a lot of grip and rubber out there, and it progressively gets quicker and quicker as the weekend goes on, unless of course there's a rain at some point. So I might attempt a practice program towards the end of FP1, but FP2 and FP3 I'll probably do off camera and try to focus without having to be distracted by having to commentate about it or anything, and try to get some more done whilst the track gets better, which means that we should have a better chance of achieving green or purple. But yeah, so we won't do anything straight away. So obviously then, medium tyres for us. Car setup, I sort of had a little dabble anyway. We'll drain some fuel out. We'll go for yeah, that's pretty much 5 laps. Aero, I'm going to took 6.9. Transmission, I'm going to bump this all the way down to 60% for the diff on and off. Suspension can go over there. Toes can go down there. We'll keep that level. We'll bump that up to 6. So yeah, that seems okay for me. Brake pressure 100% because we're running ABS. Bias will drop down to 54. Tyres is a new one. Tyres is the only real change to the setup this year. Previous games you can change your PSI for the front or rear tyres. So this time you can change your PSI for all 4 individual tyres, which is quite cool. I think we might drop down the rear left a little bit and the front left, because this is a clockwise circuit. So you do more right hand turns, which obviously puts a load on the left hand side of the car, and if the pressures are a bit too high you start to increase the wear rate. So we'll drop them down a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't unbalance the car too much. Yeah, everything else seems okay, that's fine. Power unit and gearbox, of course, everything is 0%. Timing screen so far, so we are on that one circuit. You see there, Bottas currently the fastest in the medium tyres. Giotto 3.3 seconds, nearly 3.4 seconds off, but he's only a few tenths away from Grosjean, so that's promising straight away. We've got TV cameras there, of course, as Giotto continues to pound around, and of course at any time we can advance all the way to qualifying if we need to. But we'll go back now and we'll jump out on circuit for our first couple of laps in the Minardi. So the engine roars into life in the background, much deeper bellower noise this time. Out on the medium tyres as well, but at the end of the pit lane. Limiter off, and out on the circuit we come. So first thing we'll do then, have a look at the livery from all corners. Personally, I'm quite happy with it. I think it looks quite cool. And now we'll go through all the various screens. So this is the main one, obviously, that I'll be pretty much running all the time in the race. The fuel mix, front bias and diff is still on there as well, but the ERS has been simplified. Before you could have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's now 0, 1, 2 and 3. I've also set up manually the overtake button. So if you can see there, I press a button and I can get all of the power, and then I press it again and disable it. And but it does use up quite a lot of ERS, as you can expect. Second screen, this shows the damage on the car at any point, and also the tyre wear rates. Over here we have the temperature. So this shows the temperature of the engine, the inner and outer walls of the tyres, and also the brakes. And then obviously we have our engine units and the percentage rate on them. So we've got a Red Bull behind us. I think we'll politely move out the way for him. And yeah, I quite like the blocky text that we now get. And the graphics, I think, are pretty much similar to F1 2019, to be honest. We'll give it a bit of a push now, as we've got a little bit of a gap. Try and warm up these tyres somewhat. 3 DRS zones here. You've got the detection point, which we've pretty much just gone through now, and the activation for the main straight, and then down between turns 2 and 3 is the same one. And then we've got another one as well in the coming into the final chicane at the fast left right at the end of sector 2. So we'll put pedal to the metal, we'll do a couple of laps, see how we fare early on. So exactly 15 minutes left of FP1. I've allowed some more lap times to come in. Giotto has improved his pace somewhat. We're just off of Raikkonen, just a tenth away from Raikkonen on the medium tyres. Giotto is a tenth slower than us on the medium tyres. We're quite a lot faster than Russell, 6 tenths. And everyone else behind's on the hard, so it's difficult really, excuse me, to get a sort of representable time. I think we should be able to comfortably beat the Williams cars. Might be in a bit of a battle with the Haas guys, and anyone else other than that, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. So we'll go on to a second set of medium tyres, if it will allow me to change. There we go. And we'll get a practice program on the way. So this is a track acclimatisation program. And we'll drive out the garage. So this one basically will be, there'll be checkpoints around the circuit for DRS zones, down the straights, mainly in all of the corners. And if we go through them quick enough and well enough, we get a purple. If it's a little bit less, it's a green, and if it's too bad or too slow, we miss it completely, it's a red. And you get points for each one you go through. Get enough points, and you either end the lap in green or purple. If we end it in purple with a perfect score, then the program will end completely because you can't improve. If it's purple but a little bit more, it will keep going. But ideally, this should be the one that we should always be able to get purple on. Certainly, as I know this circuit pretty well. And it will generate quite a few nice resource points for us to spend in the future. So, Chief Mechanic at the end of the pit lane. Allow me out into the pit lane. No one behind. There is a Renault coming down the pit straight. Don't know if it's enough for purple, but definitely in the green. 500, will it be enough? It is, just. So we have completed it. So these last 2 laps now are just to increase the score, but we don't get anything extra for it. So just a few minutes left of the session. I won't be going back out again. We got purple in acclimatisation, which is very nice. And if you look at the timings there, we did find a little bit of extra time as well. And we're currently now in, where are we? 16th place in the session. Some more drivers have gone into the medium, so we are ahead of Grosjean. We're a couple of tenths ahead of Giotto, and we're about 4 tenths ahead of Russell. Giovinazzi, Magnussen and Latifi yet to do any running on the medium tyres. So we go forward now to the end of the session, see where we end up, but so far it's looking pretty good. So Bottas was fastest by nearly 3/4 of a second ahead of Leclerc, Verstappen in 3rd, Perez 4th, Vettel in 5th, Hamilton down in 8th on the hard tyres. Giovinazzi did manage to get ahead of us on the medium tyres, so we end up in 17th place. And you can see there Magnussen, okay, he probably would have had us as well, so it looks like we could be fighting the Haas cars, which is good. We're a few tenths quicker than Giotto. And the Williams cars as well a little bit slower than us. In fact, we were almost a second quicker than Latifi and about 4 tenths quicker than Russell. So it looks like we've got the beating of Williams and we could be in for a battle with the Haas cars. So all very good. So here we are then, back at the workstation. FP1 is done. Now advance into both FP2 and FP3 to try and get some more resource programs done. You can see we're up to 1,370, so a nice healthy amount already. I'm now going to do these 2 off camera. I'll be back with you before qualifying for a bit of a practice roundup, let you know how it's gone, what practice programs we managed to do, and if I've managed to find some more pace in the car. So there we go then, FP2 and FP3 is now done. You can see the total acclaim that we have achieved over the practice sessions. I've gone up by 2%, Giotto's gone up by 10%, and the total is a combined 12%. So you can see there that obviously the white bar will fill up quicker for me, being a level 1 noob, and obviously being a level 5 it's going to take a little bit longer, which is why I've gone up a little bit more. 12% there as a combined overall boost means that probably after the race will be level 2, which would be quite nice, and we can potentially sign a secondary sponsor. So an update then on FP2 and FP3. And FP2 are finished in 17th place, running both the soft medium compound tyres. We did the tyre management program, which we got purple, and the fuel management program, which we only got green. Over in FP3 I did some long distance running with a bit of heavy fuel on board with the soft tyres, see how far I can push them. I got up to 7 laps done and we was at 35%, which means that probably the most we can do until they really start to go off is about 8 or 9 laps. We finished last in FP3 but only a couple of attempts away from Giotto and Latifi, which I can only assume in FP3 obviously they would have been running low fuel and qualifying setups. We were going for more of a race setup. So the practice sessions are now done. We got a message here from Jeff. There are a few tricky spots on the circuit here. In particular, be careful at turns 5 and blah blah blah. I know this circuit, don't worry. Let's just head straight to qualifying. We'll have a quick look then at the units anyway. So 25 laps completed in FP1, 2 and 3, 7%. And 8% actually seems to be the highest for the turbocharger. For the gearbox, we did 19 laps there at 7% on the practice gearbox for FP1 and FP2, 6 laps on the event gearbox. I definitely did 8, but maybe it didn't count my in and out laps, but that's only 2%, so that's fine. That's good. We can go to qualify now. It's going to be overcast. It's going to be a little cooler on track, which means grip might be a bit of a premium, but we've got 18 minutes, certainly got time for 2 or 3 runs. So we're just a minute into the qualifying session. There's a handful of cars already out on circuit. Obviously we got 4 sets of soft tyres to use up if we so wish. Car setup I'm going to leave. I'm going to actually change, I'll drain the fuel out. I'm going to change the tyre pressures just a little bit. Bump them back up a little bit because although it was more evened, an even spread. I'll tell you what we'll do. We're going to do that. We're going to drop the lefts down a couple of clicks. Hopefully it gives us more of an even spread across all 4 tyres. So that is the setup we're going to run. Just make sure that it has actually saved to what I want. That's good. Okay, right. So more and more cars are going out on circuit. We drained the fuel out. So we'll get out on circuit. Park firmware regulations. We can't change the setup now. Well, we can do a few little things. We can change the brake bias and the front wing angle, but that's pretty much it. So the Renault engine roars into life. Chief mechanic points us in the direction we need to go. You can see now a lot of cloud cover. Slow down the pit lane. We've got a Renault coming past us, Esteban Ocon. And now out into qualifying. I don't know what to really expect in this. It'd be nice to be P19 ahead of both of the Williams cars and Luca Giotto. Here we go then. First lap in qualifying. Not good, not good, not good. We'll keep going now. Give us a benchmark. Oh, this is an horrendous lap. Oh, Jesus. That is the worst lap I've ever done around this circuit, I think. Right, back to the pits. I'm going to evaluate what went wrong and get out there again. So just over 10 minutes left of the session. You can see there that lap was just is the best way to describe it. 2 seconds slower than Latifi and 2.5 slower than Giotto and Russell as well. So yeah, okay, we'll go back out there again. I'm pretty sure I've selected a brand new set of tyres. I need to, indeed I have, so that's good. Yep, fine, let's get back out there because that first lap was an absolute joke. Okay, so out lap done. This is our second run. Let's try and improve. We need to find at least 2 seconds to get up to Latifi. A little bit scrappy, but we found the time that we needed. P19 ahead of Russell, Giotto and Latifi. Definitely find some more time in that. But yeah, good to actually get back up into a respectable position. So we'll have a stroll back to the pits and then get out again at the end of the session. So just over 2 minutes left of the session. You can see there that pretty much everyone is going back out again. So we're going to do exactly the same. See if we can consolidate this P19. We are about a second off of whoever it is in P18. So it looks like it's going to be a battle between Williams and Minardi. Hopefully I've got enough time to get round. Coming up behind a Red Bull and ahead of a Renault. Ah, that's done it. That's done it. So the qualifying session ends. Bottas is on pole by 2 tenths ahead of Vettel. Hamilton, Leclerc, Verstappen, Albon complete the top 6, and it's Perez, Ocon, Norris and Sainz in the 2 McLarens completing the top 10. Then it's Stroll, Ricciardo, Kvyat, Raikkonen, Gasly, Magnussen, Grosjean and Giovinazzi. Second, 1.2 off is me in 19th. We did manage to out-qualify Russell, Giotto and Latifi, but it's very close between us at the back there, just 2 tenths separating us. I'm pretty sure I could have been well into the 23s if I nailed the perfect lap. So I think going into the race we should be in a stronger position, but it's still disappointing to not be closer to the Haas cars. But we're in 19th, ahead of both of Williams and my teammate, so I'll take it. So the team McLean, another 10% for Giotto, another 2% for me, 12% in total, immediately puts us up to pretty much level 2. I mean, we're right underneath it, so I think once this race is done we'll be level 2, which is nice to see. So back at the workstation, the only thing left to do now is go to the race, so that's exactly what we're going to do.
No more testing, no more practice. This is the real deal. And it's make or break here at Albert Park, home of the Australian Grand Prix since 1996. And home to round 1 of this year's Formula One World Championship. We go racing today then in the state of Victoria, where the drivers have 16 corners and 3.3 miles to navigate at an average lap speed of around 120 miles an hour. The close proximity of the barriers makes accidents inevitable, and recent history shows us that a safety car is not at all out of the question. Can Mercedes start with victory in their bid to win a 7th consecutive Constructors' title? Could Ferrari or Red Bull establish an advantage early on? And with 22 cars on the grid, how quickly can the new team find their footing? Well, it's great to be back, Anthony Davidson. We've got a lot to talk about this year.
That's right, Crofty. It felt like a long winter, but it's good to finally be back. I have to think the usual suspects will battle it out at the front, but there are always going to be some teething problems early on in the season, so whoever can keep on top of their issues will have the advantage today.
As I mentioned earlier, we're up to 11 teams this season, with a new entry run by, well, of all things, an owner-driver. That's something we haven't seen in this sport since Hector Raback over 4 decades ago. So how are they looking so far?
Ever since their participation was announced, there were questions being asked about whether an outfit like this could survive, and certainly it's proving to be a trial by fire so far. Let's hope they can continue to draw in investment and find a little more pace as well.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position, with Sebastian Vettel starting alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Hamilton, Leclerc, Alexander Albon, and Perez, Ocon, Norris, Sainz, and Lance Stroll, Ricciardo, Kvyat, Kimi Raikkonen, and Gasly, Verstappen. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Magnussen, Romain Grosjean, and Antonio Giovinazzi, Lee, Russell, Giotto, and Nicholas Latifi. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track and get this Grand Prix underway.
So there was the race introduction and the grid as well. Verstappen has a 10-place grid penalty, starts in 15th. We remain in P19, and yes, there was a man walking on the water at the very beginning. Jesus is amongst us. So the race strategy, softs onto hards. I'm going to change that and start on the, right, do that, get rid of that, do that. That's what we're going to do. We're going to go hards at the start, and then hopefully onto the softs if we can manage to make the hards last 19 laps. If not, if we're starting to struggle or in heavy traffic by about lap 15, 16, something like that, then we can go onto the mediums. Bump a bit of extra fuel in it. We'll go 2 laps worth of extra fuel. Yeah, I'm happy with that. That is what we'll do. That is the selected strategy. Cool. Right, let's get the formation lap on the go.
Map is good, but we need to learn the gears, so go into each one when you can. We're going to need some work on the brakes, so put some energy into them and warm the tyres as well, please.
Copy all that. So we're starting on the hard tyres. I think everyone around us is going to be on the softs. I'll be surprised. There might be 1 or 2 on the mediums. I'll be surprised if anyone's on the hards. ERS for the race. I've manually set it, so we'll have ERS mode number 1, which gives us the medium setting, or we can press the X button there and we'll have ERS mode number 3. So just 2 settings. And I'll probably switch between using rich mix because we've got, or we will have about 3 laps worth of extra fuel. So we can use the overtake button down the straights, and then when we get a bit low on that and need to save, we can go into rich mix. So hopefully we can keep the pressure on. Don't know what to expect from the race. Well, the only target for race 1 is to finish and keep it clean. I think we'll probably drop to the back early on, being on the hard tyres. But it's all about being consistent anyway, if we are at the back, and trying to not have a massive gap to the other cars that we'll be battling, which is chiefly Giotto and the Williams cars. And then maybe the race will come to us later on. You never know, it might be a virtual safety car or an actual safety car at some point. A few retirements out there. It's all been all the work we've done this weekend, getting the team ready. It all leads up to this moment now. This is when the heart starts to race a little bit. The hands start to get a little sweaty as the AI takes control of our car. I've said it before and I've said it again, it'd be nice if we had full manual control to the grid. I think that'd be a nice touch, and also full manual control in and out of the pit lane as well. Other games do it, of course. It'd be nice if F1 could copy them. So we're starting on the outside for turn 1. Let's keep it clean. Oh, I've been nudged.
We've held position on lap 1. That's not
Relatively clean though.
Stay focused.
Very heavy, the car at the moment, as you can imagine. Heavy fuel load. Hard tyres still coming up to temperature. But the good news is we're not last. We remain in P19, so that's good. So this will all work towards us later on in the race. Into lap 2. Okay, we're holding our own at the moment. Now into lap 3, DRS will be enabled. So we need to break that from that second behind to Latifi if we can. So as long as we stay a second ahead of Latifi, you shouldn't be able to catch us too much. So we'll settle down now for the next few laps. It's coming into lap 6. We've now managed to drop Latifi and Russell. Being very frugal with our ERS. And I'll be expecting the soft runners to probably be thinking about pit stops in the next few laps, so we'll start moving up the order. I'm feeling very comfortable. We're not losing a load of time to the cars in front either. So it's all about just maintaining a rhythm. Lap times seem very consistent. So we'll just keep pounding around for now. Keep trying to bridge a bit of a gap over the Williams behind.
Full course caution.
Ooh.
The safety car is out. Keep an eye on the delta. We need to keep it positive to avoid a penalty. Slow down. Maintain positive delta.
Bottas is out of the race.
On the MFD.
People are probably going to be pitting. Hi, what do we do? What do we do? Okay, this is crucial. Pretty much everyone's going to be in the pits.
Copy.
Right, let's change.
Okay, we can take you this lap.
I'm going to come in now for a set of soft tyres. Got to really. Don't speed. Right, everyone is in.
for his start.
Everyone is in. Pit lane is going to be busy. I think quite a lot of people are going onto the hard tyres here. We're screwed now in the strategy, really, because all these guys, I think, could pretty much get to the end.
Go, go, go. You'll be racing on the exit. Complete. Go now.
Managed to jump some people. But that came out at the absolute wrong time for us. Now, the soft tyres, I don't know, if we can get to maybe lap 20 on these, we could probably use another set of softs, because we've already done the hards. So we don't need to... Right, I've got to think about this, because everyone's going to be on the hards now to the end. Right, so I think the plan is going to be that we'll have a shed load of extra fuel. You can see we're in lean mix now anyway, saving as much as we can. We probably have about 3.5 laps worth of extra fuel by the time we go green flag racing again. We've got a load of BRS as well, so I'm just going to absolutely just go for it. Hopefully we don't get bullied off the circuit by some of the guys behind us that are going to be quicker.
Okay, let's get ready to go racing again. The safety car is in this lap.
Okay.
When the field accelerates, remember, there is no overtaking until the green flags. Safety car in this lap.
Copy that. Right, so I think we'll probably, with the soft tyres, pushing as hard as we can with everything turned up. I reckon I'm aiming for about lap 17 when we pit onto a set of medium tyres. I'm hoping by then we'd have eked out some sort of performance of the slower cars at the back, and then we can catch back up with the medium tyres and have a bit of a battle towards the end. So let's turn everything up.
Green flag.
Green flag racing.
Gap to teammate behind is 4.6 seconds.
Come on, Ricardo. Get your arse into gear. So come around then to start lap 14. Halfway through this race. We're doing alright. We're hanging on quite nicely. Getting DRS now. You can see there we're 4.3 seconds ahead of Raikkonen.
The car behind is dropping back by about 3/10 a lap.
I'm not really worried by Raikkonen, of course. I'm more worried about the guys at the very back of the field. Again, we'll pit about lap 17, I think.
In this lap, push now.
So there we go. Pit stop window is now open for me. And we are now starting to struggle on these soft tyres. So we'll be onto the mediums and push to the end. I think we're about 14 seconds ahead of our teammate, who in turn is about 2 seconds ahead of one of the Williams cars. So we will join in last, or 21st anyway, because Bottas is out. And then the push for the last 10 or 11 laps on the medium tyres against those on the used hards. See if we can claw back that gap and have a bit of a battle at the back of the field. Okay, we're in now. This should be a change onto the medium tyres. We will join last, but the question is, how big will the gap be to Russell?
Release.
Not as bad as I thought. Four and a half seconds. As you can see there in a couple of laps, we're now right with, or near.
Okay, the safety car is out.
Oh, we got a safety car, safety car, okay.
Reduce the pace. Keep a close eye on that delta
Oh,
time. Make sure to
okay,
keep it positive.
right. Do we have a set of soft tyres? Oh, we got a used set. How used are they? Oh, right, we're going to risk it.
Pitting this lap then. This lap.
And now it all revolves around. I don't think anyone else is pitting. It is a full safety car. Screw it. Right. So the safety car's come out. It's parked on the exit of turn 2. So that's fine. Now we'll see how bad these soft tyres are. If these are achievable...
Exit now.
So let's have a look at them. God, it's a qualifying set. Okay, right. There's a safety car.
Speed, our delta is too low.
Oh.
We risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately.
Now, is everyone ahead going to pit as well? That'll be interesting. Right, I'm boxing again and going back onto the used set of mediums. Looking at this, we'll be flat out for like 7 or 8 laps. I don't think we'll get to the end in the soft tyres. So we're going to come back in again. And we're going to go back on to the medium tyres. I really hope the safety car doesn't come in at the end of this lap because I will be gutted. So there we go. The safety car should be in at the end of this lap, which will give us 6 laps to try and pass as many cars as possible. I'll be happy if we get Russell, Giotto and Latifi, which puts us in 17th place. Anything more than that will be a bonus.
Safety car is in this lap. Safety car in this lap. Let's make sure those tyres are up to temperature, and remember, there is no overtaking until the timing line. Stay in position until the green flags.
Here we go. It's a sprint race.
Spare energy. Use your overtake button.
Fuck off, Russell. Right, next target, Giotto.
Okay, good work. Great pass.
Cock. Side by side, my teammate. And we take the position. Nice.
5 laps of fuel remaining.
Let's pull away from him now. Get up to Latifi. Tidy.
You're now in P17.
Okay, coming across the line to start the final lap. 2 seconds ahead of Latifi now. Too far behind the cars in front. So as long as you don't cheese it into the wall, we'll run off the circuit. It'll be a P17 finish for us. Glad we managed to get past those guys. I thought we should be able to. And the AI is pretty aggressive as well when it's defending. So all their moves weren't easy. Glad to get them done. So just a couple of corners to go. Pretty wild first race, really. I think we made 5 pit stops and all of that. But we managed to get the strategy right in the end. Giotto's managed to pass the Latifi as well. And it's P17 on debut. So there we go. There is the final result. Hamilton wins just 7 tenths ahead of Vettel. Leclerc picks up an extra World Championship point for the fastest lap. He finishes 3rd. And it's Albon in 4th, Ocon in 5th for Renault, Sainz, Verstappen from 15th on the grid, Magnussen got 8th from 16th on the grid, Perez and Norris completes the points. And it's Ricciardo outside the points at his home race, Kvyat, Raikkonen, Stroll, Grosjean, Giovinazzi, and then us 4 pit stops. We made 4 pit stops, but we did manage to catch and get past Giotto, Latifi and Russell before the end, and Giotto managed to pass Latifi on the final lap as well. So we gained 2 positions from the start. Gasly and Bottas both retired, so all in all we pretty much finished where we started, but we were certainly up and down the field. I think the right call was to come back in at the very end there and go on to the medium tyres, and some good battles with Russell, Latifi and Giotto. Russell and Giotto especially. It was really difficult to get past Russell, but it did it with a nice move into turn 1. Latifi was a bit simpler, really. Got a good exit at the final corner and boosted the button straight away, and I was pretty much past already coming across the line. But yeah, it's not easy to overtake the AI, so every time you do, it is a good job well done. No point looking at the standings, as they are the same as they will be at the end of the first race. So in the team acclaim, I've gone up 2% and another 10% for Giotto, which means our combined acclaim boost puts us into level 2, almost at level 3. I'm almost at level 2 myself, so that's quite good. We should be able to sign a secondary sponsor. The cash base payout, damage deductions, 20k minus. I did clip the wall in one of the practice sessions, so that does take into account. If you crashed a car, it's going to cost a bit. We made 1.27 million profit from the race, so that's quite interesting. I didn't know that. If you total the car or something, then it's probably going to cost quite a bit to repair the chassis, so we'll have to bear that in mind. I'll have to keep it super clean. So here we are then back at the headquarters. Activities, we can do some activities. We can do one here by the looks of it. So we've got the next weekend literally just around the corner, so we got some reaction training. This is for second driver, so the awareness stats can go up by 1. Driver promotion filming, just a day. The driver acclaim goes up by 1. I don't know, I think that's us. Yeah, it will be. Power team building. So power team building. So the powertrain department goes up a little bit. It's going to cost 5 grand. So it's a day out for the powertrain department. And a sponsor event, a conference for the sponsor event. The acclaim goes up by 100 for the team. It's going to cost 5 grand. We'll leave it for now. So we'll have a look through, see what we can do behind all this. Facilities then. So the weekly running cost still 30k. Weekly resource points 120. We've got 1.27 million. R&D, don't know if we should do anything. We'll leave it for now. Now, I think. Anyway, so the vehicle, let's have a look at all the usage. So 17% on the ICE, or the overall is 18%. 21 on the MGU-H, that's because we pretty much use like a lot of rich mix. So the K will be a bit lower than the H. Energy store, turbocharger as well, and the electronics. The gearbox, the event gearbox, is already at 14%. We've got to do 6 events before we can change it out, otherwise we get a grid penalty. So 14% is a bit of a worry. So corporate, we can sign a secondary sponsor. We'll have a look at all of our driver perks. So yeah, nothing else has been done there. We've really got to get Giotto stats up at some point. 61 rating is a bit low. I don't know if his rating actually goes up with his affinity, if that increases as well. We'll have to wait and see. Driver market, you can see some drivers there, their affinity has gone up. Finances, we'll have a look at that as well. So yeah, everything looks quite good so far. Finance history, making money, customization. We've unlocked a new livery because I've gone up a personal level, like in the podium pass. Yeah, so we'll have a look at sponsorship then, because we can sign a secondary sponsor. Okay, so there's loads on here. Achieve these, so let's have a look. Weekly income, it's a 91-day contract. Goal bonus is 96 if we score 3 Constructors' Championship points during the race weekend. A weekly income of 87k. We need sort of an easy goal bonus. As a team, complete a total of 75 laps during a race weekend. That should be pretty easy to do. If both cars get to the finish and let's say it's a 25 lap race, that's 50 laps, and we've got to do 25 laps in practice, which we'll both definitely do. So that's an easy one to do. Let's have a look. Overtake 5 different drivers during a race. As a team, complete a total of 50 laps during a weekend, so that's quite easy to do. The goal bonus is a bit higher. Weekly income's a bit lower. We've got loads on here. Achieve the fastest lap, that ain't happening. As a team, complete a total of 50 laps. As a team, complete a total of 10 laps during practice. That's very easy, but the goal bonus and weekly comes a bit less. Complete race with no DNFs within the team. Gedan Kenbura Tungun. Right, if that's not a German sponsor, I don't know what is. And these get more expensive, I think, as we go on. As a team, complete a total of 10 laps during a race weekend. That is really quite low. I quite like this one up here. Which was it? It was Atlantic, wasn't it? yeah, as a team, complete a total of 75 laps during a race weekend. That should be easy enough. So weekly income of $102.06. Goal bonus of 94.5. Contract left 91 days, 3 months. So yeah, we'll add that sponsor. Sign with Atlantic. So that should be pretty good. That should be on the car now. If we go back to the overview, it should be there somewhere. I don't know where. It'll be on the car somewhere. Cool. Okay. Right. So yeah, we might as well just. Well, that'll be it really. The next time I see you guys, it will be at the headquarters, if you like, or the at the track for the Bahrain Grand Prix. A very entertaining, I thought, first episode, and a pretty good race as well in the end. We got screwed with the first safety car. The second one certainly helped us, and we was able to basically finish where I expected us to be. So up and down the field, but some good battles throughout. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you for the next episode